You are Rahul said, I know whatever I am saying, you will forget very soon. I will tell you one trick to remind you of the solutions and things we have discussed today. Trick: wear a rubber band on your wrist. Every time you ask a problem-focused question, give yourself a snap and rephrase the question. It might take a few days or even weeks to break the habit, but before long I guarantee that you will have a bruised wrist and a lot fewer problems. Wow, said Sudhir. I will do this immediately. I feel good already. I am going home and apologize to my parents. Then I am going to call my old boss and request him to give me one more chance. Keep me updated on your progress, said Rahul. All the best. Remember, if you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. Athlete knowledge. 1. Describe the qualities that Sudhir lacked which made his life so difficult. 2. What are some solutions that Rahul suggested that you can apply in your own life? 3. Think of some solution-focused questions that you can ask yourself for a real-world problem that you are facing. Build your vocabulary. Learn and use the words and business phrases used in this chapter to improve your spoken English skills. 1. Make the cut to get shortlisted. 2. Persona. The aspect of someone's character that is presented to or perceived by others. 3. Rote. Learning without understanding. 4. Holistic. Taking into account an overall 360-degree approach. Not just focusing on one aspect, but on the entire issue as a whole. 5. Ahead of the curve. Beating the competition. Being in fashion. Up to date with the latest trends, fashion, or technologies. 6. Hit the ground running. Start something without delay or wasting time. Essentials of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence (EI) is a type of social intelligence and the ability of individuals to control their own emotions and use this to recognize and guide others' emotions and actions. The knowledge of A is extremely essential as it is now clear that technical skills alone cannot provide professional and personal success. High A is a great predictor of high performance. There is a direct link between A and earning potential. People with high A make more money on an average than others. Research done by Harvard University and the Carnegie Foundation showed that 85% of success comes from soft skills. A person's knowledge of their domain accounts for only 15%. The study of A was a result of a problem that challenges almost everyone. Why do people with the best education and technical skills and knowledge often fail in their jobs? And how is that some people who appear average or even mediocre can end up becoming such great leaders and managers? The answer was that these average people had a high degree of emotional intelligence that enabled them to influence others. Mahatma Gandhi was a lawyer with average legal skills. His first public speaking opportunity proved to be a disaster in court and become the father of our nation. Everyday common people in pressure situations become heroes. While they go forward and tackle situations head-on, others shrink with fear or shy away. Different strokes for different folks, all depends upon their A. Case in point, in the business world, we have seen great startups like Apple and Uber being built by single persons from scratch. Steve Jobs at Apple and Travis Kalanick at Uber are examples of positive thinking entrepreneurs with a huge intellectual capacity who built billion-dollar companies due to their sheer tenacity and brilliance. However, both of them had to be removed from their own companies. The boards of companies that they owned asked them to leave due to their poor people skills. Although they had great IQs, but they lacked EQ. Travis has admitted his failure in developing A and admitted to taking professional help by coaches and mentors to develop his EQ. Day after day, we encounter fights, conflicts and misunderstanding between people everywhere. And these conflicts are resolved by people who we perceive to be leaders. Leaders with A. When you have high A, it is far easier to solve complex problems. Deal creatively with challenges of an ever-changing, dynamic environment. In our pursuit of gaining the best education and intellectual knowledge, we put in the same effort to develop A. In our desire to acquire soft skills and develop dynamic personalities, it becomes more important to develop A. We need to have a high emotional quotient EQ, along with a high intelligence quotient IQ. Applying emotional intelligence at home and work. A personal transformation skill sets involve first focusing on self in order to influence others. 1. Self-awareness. It is the ability to be honest with oneself and identify, understand, and evaluate personal feelings. To have a depth understanding of one's emotions, feelings, values, and needs. Self-awareness is concerned with knowing about your own state of mind and capabilities, preferences, resources, and perceptions. As you become more self-aware, you are able to be in better touch with your own feelings. People with a heightened self-awareness are neither pessimistic nor overtly optimistic. Rather, they are candid with themselves and with others, at work and at home. Self-awareness is directly related to self-confidence. People with strong self-awareness, 1. Are able to conduct direct, authentic, and accurate self-appraisals. 2. Are self-confident as they voice their opinions, even if unpopular, and welcome feedback. 3. Are able to perceive situations accurately and engage changes in their environment. 4. Are willing to take risks for what they believe to be right. 5. Believe that they are the best persons for that job and present themselves accordingly. 6. Make decisions in tune with their values and beliefs. 7. Have a self-deprecating sense of humor, i.e., display the ability to laugh at themselves. Case in point, Radhika is the daughter of a self-made wealthy businessman with deep connections. Her father forced her to study commerce. He wanted her to be a CA, something he never could. She graduated, and after her B.Com, her father got her a job as an articles clerk at a Big Four accounting firm. In her vacations, prior to her joining, Radhika did a lot of soul-searching and realized that accounting is not to her interest. She just couldn't imagine a future working with figures, finances, and numbers. Instead, she found herself excelling at art. She spent the vacation going to art galleries and studying the works of the masters. She explored post-graduation programs in design and finalized one. She revealed her plans to her parents, who were very angry and disappointed. They did everything they could to force her to change her mind, but she stood steadfast. She went on to study art and design, and today she is the leading art historian in her field. To self-regulation, also known as self-management. It is only human to feel angry, sad, lonely, happy, joyful, hopeful, etc. On any given day, we experience multiple emotions. We cannot go away with emotion. However, there is much we can do to manage our emotions. This is called self-management. Regulating oneself involves being a master of one's own mind, rather than being a hostage to our emotions. Taking control over fear, anger, and anxieties rather than them taking control over you. Self-management is important because when people are able to better manage their emotions, they do better in all spheres of their lives. People who are good managers of their emotions, 1. Are adaptable and open to change and don't panic when faced sudden disruptions in their lives. 2. Deal calmly with stress and display calmness, impulse control, and restraint. 3. Display intention and productivity and behave in a fair, reasonable, and rational way. 4. Stick to their ethical values and confront others' lack of it. 5. Have attention to detail and are organized and careful. 6. Adapt plans, behavior, or approaches depending upon the situation. Case in point, Aditya Kumar, a manager, has entrusted an important client presentation to Yusuf, who he feels is ready for such an important task. On the day of the presentation, Yusuf gets very nervous and makes various errors and delivers a mediocre presentation. The client leaves without a promise of a sale. Aditya in the past has displayed extreme anger by kicking chairs and screaming and shouting at the person at fault. However, he has matured as a manager and now practices self-regulation. Today, he first asks his entire team, including the trembling presenter, to leave for the day. He then closes his eyes and takes 10 deep breaths. He then proceeds to write a mail to the client acknowledging gaps in the presentation and explaining the presentation pitch without making excuses for his team. He does not send the mail immediately, instead sets it for auto-sending the next morning at 9 a.m. He then switches off the lights and leaves for the day. The next day he meets Yusuf in his office and they go over the problems in presentation and how Yusuf can improve for the future. At the end of the day, The client writes to Aditya appreciating his honesty and care for his team. Importance of ethics and values. A strong value system. Those who have a high level of emotional intelligence also have a strong value system and a strong code of ethics. Values are a set of beliefs because of which we behave in a particular manner. For example, honesty, integrity, respect, professionalism, reliability are values that help us to admire a person as a great professional. People with a strong set of values, 1. Tend to do what they believe is right. 2. They believe in those values and rarely compromise on those. 3. They make choices and decisions based on those values. Case in point, a person who believes in respect for women as a value will never put himself in a position where he gets accused of sexual harassment. #MeToo. 4. They demand those same set of values from others. 5. They care about their professional image and company's image so that their value system is consistent with that of their companies. 6. They lead by example. First they practice those values and then they compel others to follow them. Ways to make the best first impression. 1. Positive body language. Body language is perhaps the first thing people see while forming their first impression about you. Dress, voice, gesture, courtesy, and etiquette, listening skills, posture, grooming, and hygiene, eye contact, etc. all form a package that can either prove to be a wonderful round. 1. Be yourself. If you are trying to behave like someone else or put on an act, it will soon become clear to everyone that you are trying to fool them. People are smart, and your artificiality will soon be exposed. Instead, be yourself, explore your personality, and play to your strengths. Be genuinely interested in other people. One should like to be in the company of other people. Remember the 4 C's when interacting with others. * calm. * cool. * comfortable. * confident. 2. This will make the others feel at ease and comfortable around you. 3. Blend in. Make the effort to fit into your environment. While it is good to be different and stand out, it is not always appropriate to be the odd person out from the crowd. Dress professionally in a workplace setting and casually outside. Appropriate behavior and mannerisms must be exhibited depending upon the situation and your company. Doing a little research before you actually set out for the occasion will go a long way in making you appear prepared and relaxed. Show your individuality in your time and own space. Don't let it adversely affect your relationships with others. Case in point, Rocky is a part-time musician looking to build a full-time career in advertising. He gets his first break in an ad agency in Mumbai and soon rises up the ladder in his company. After 6 years, his company is acquired by a Korean company known for their traditional values. His office shifts to the Korean company's Delhi headquarters. Rocky soon finds himself in the company of others dressed in formal attire in office. He feels totally out of place in his colored hair, torn jeans, and tattoos, which were barely noticed by anyone in his old office. Others laugh at him and talk about him behind his back. He insists on dressing in his usual manner, but finds that he is not getting any recognition at work. His colleagues and superiors don't take him seriously, but he refuses to change. Soon, he is forced to leave his job and look for another, but it's not easy finding another job in the recession. He feels he should have tried to fit better into the new company's culture. 1. Punctuality. Your time management is your task, not of others. Being on time shows respect and seriousness for the occasion. The same standards of good punctuality have to be exhibited on the job and outside the job as well. You should be known for your adherence to time schedules. Once this happens, you will start getting more favorable responses and make better relationships in all areas of your life. There is no room for excuses in the real world. Whether it is a job interview or work, a social occasion or personal appointment, do your research about the location, weather, traffic, etc. in advance. In this era of Google Maps, there is no excuse for being late. Remember, if the others can reach on time, so can you. I am late because I started late. Winston Churchill. Developing your personal brand. Personal branding is the practice of promoting yourself and your career as a brand. It is the constant process of establishing your image or impression in the mind of others about yourself. Everyone has a personal brand, whether they are aware of it or not. Your personal brand is what you stand for. It is the sum total of the combined experiences and impressions that you leave on anyone who comes into contact with you, either physically or digitally. Developing a powerful personal brand is extremely important, as it is the gateway of making your place in society. When you develop a strong personal brand, it becomes easy for people to remember you when promotions or awards are handed out. Always remember that being low profile all the time is very dangerous to your career. Out of sight is out of mind. Personal branding enables you to remain in the high-profile spotlight and in your boss's minds at all times. In a competitive professional environment and crowded personal space, it is very difficult to stand out from the crowd. Your personal brand helps you to emerge as a first among equals. People remember you positively in your absence and emulate your characteristics. Most people want to be described as technically sound, socially skilled, of honest character and values, and committed to your work, your friends, your company, and your family. Research shows that the most wanted traits are trustworthiness, caring, humility, and capability. 3.9.1 How to develop a powerful personal brand. Ask yourself the question, what do I want my key stakeholders to say about me when I'm not in the room? This description is your desired professional brand. Likewise, you might also ask yourself in another way, what would I care about that my key stakeholders might say about me when I'm not in the room? The answer to this question is your undesired professional image. 3.9.2 What are the steps individuals should take to manage their professional brand? Accept that if you aren't managing your own professional image, someone else is. In other words, your personal branding is done by others in the way they respond to you. So, it is in your best interest to be in control of your personal brand. Observe the fact that people are observing your behavior and actions, and are forming opinions about your competence, character, and commitment. They then translate these opinions into action and spread the word around about you accordingly. Work at it constantly. Personal branding does not happen in a day. It takes effort, time, and commitment to spread the right impression about yourself. Through digital media and physical contact, your actions over a period of time spread the word about you, and people begin to form the right impression of you. That's the beginning of your personal brand.
3.10 How to do a personal SWOT. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. A SWOT analysis on oneself is an objective and sharp look inwards. Once you honestly prepare a list of your strengths and weaknesses, and identify potential opportunities and obstacles in your life, you can make informed decisions. These decisions help in creating the best impression and creation of your personal brand. Ways to do a personal SWOT. TAKIA, strategic and proactive approach to your accomplishments. Identify your ideal state of mind. What are the core competencies and characteristics that you want people to associate with you? What part of your personality would you like to highlight and what part would you like to minimize? Assess your current image, social economic background, and immediate environment. View the environment around you from a micro and macro perspective. In other words, things which immediately affect you and things which can have an effect both positive or negative in a few years. How equipped are you to handle those potential situations economically, financially, education-wise, and exposure-wise? How do others currently perceive you? Conduct a cost-benefit analysis for your self-image change. For example, if you had to change yourself from being a very casual and free-spirited person to a very conservative and traditional person, is it worth it? Is the time, money, and effort justified? Do you care about others' perceptions of you? Are you capable of changing your image? Are the benefits worth the physiological, psychological, emotional, and financial costs? Correlation between self-esteem and self-image. Self-image, the way we see ourselves. Self-esteem, the way we feel about ourselves. Self-confidence, belief about our ability, capability, and potential. Positive self-esteem and self-confidence are very important because When you accept yourself, you can live comfortably with your personal strengths and weaknesses, without undue self-criticism. When you respect yourself, you acknowledge your own dignity and value as a unique human being. You treat yourself well, in much the same way that you would treat others. We feel good about ourselves and we make others feel good as well. We feel in control of our life and are flexible and resourceful. We are able to make choices about how we run our life. We enjoy the challenges that life throws at us and are ready to take life head-on. We can realize our own potential by combining all our abilities in a balanced and harmonious way.
How to build self-esteem and confidence. Life is a numbers game. The more times you try something, the better the odds of achieving it. It makes no different with self-confidence. Acknowledge your insecurity, whatever is making you feel low, depressed, shy, or inferior. First, acknowledge its presence. Write down the situations when you feel this way. Learn to accept yourself with your strengths and weaknesses. And then focus on making your strengths work for you. Everyone is good at something. Find your USP. Don't give depression a permission. No one can make you feel bad without your permission. So, don't let negative thoughts enter a place in your mind. Talk it out, to friends, to family, to a counselor, to anyone you trust. Talking and sharing the pain is a huge start to developing self-esteem. Learn from your mistakes. No one is perfect. Everyone started out somewhere in life. Make mistakes, fail surely, but only a fool makes the same mistake twice. You may not get a second chance, so learn all you can from the first. An attitude of gratitude. Be thankful for what you have. Focusing on what you don't leads to a sense of insecurity, inadequateness, and loss of self-confidence. By appreciating what you have, you can fight the feeling of being incomplete and unsatisfied. Achieving that inner peace will do wonders for your confidence. Avoid self-pity. Don't let anyone pity on you or look for sympathy. Shallow words may make you feel good temporarily, but have no effect in removing the root cause of your happiness. Never allow others to make you feel inferior. They can only do so if you let them. Your happiness lies in your own hands. Take control of your life and your happiness. Don't give anyone the key to your happiness. Do something new. The thrill of learning a new sport, a new hobby, reading a new book, a new language energizes the mind. It creates a sense of excitement and achievement. Do something that you have been meaning to do and putting off. The start is the hard part, but it becomes easier from then on. The feeling of elation and accomplishment from having done it will fill your life with positivity. You will be ready to take on greater challenges that the world has to throw at you. When was the last time you did something for the first time? Fake it till you make it. Act confident, look confident, even if you are feeling scared from the inside. Don't show others your weaknesses. Walk with an erect posture and smile on your face. Pretend you're completely confident version of yourself. After a while you will begin to internalize it. In other words, to look positive will become part of your basic nature. Be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are. John Wooden. Executive presence. Your professional image is the set of qualities and characteristics that represent perceptions of your competence and character as judged by your key constituents i.e., clients, superiors, subordinates, colleagues. Leaders are appreciated for the first impression they make. Leaders that we admire have a quality which can't be seen, only felt. It is called executive presence. A right combination of correctly managing the body and mind makes an average leader grow exponentially. Research has shown that first impressions is a major factor in establishing executive presence. Whether it is presenting their results, displaying their decisions, interacting with their peers or teams, appearing for meetings, or even video conferencing, all leaders are expected to be the pillars of their organization. The higher one rises, the more the need for making the best first impression. Good leaders with executive presence are great communicators. They are generally perceived to be more educated and well-informed than others. They develop better interpersonal skills, which has a positive effect on their personality. They make faster decisions and implement these more efficiently, set creative targets and personal goals that can be achieved on time. An increase in their self-confidence and morale leads to development of gravitas. 3.13. 1. Gravitas. Gravitas is that magic quality that inspires people to follow you, that ensures that the boundaries are not crossed. People maintain a respectable and appropriate distance from you without having to tell them. That gives you credibility and an executive presence. You either have it or don't. It can't be faked. What then is gravitas? Gravitas is your personal brand. It is what separates you from the pack. Leaders with gravitas command respect. Others demand it by virtue of their position. Gravitas has nothing to do with age. It is your mileage. It comes with experience. Gravitas helps you to choose carefully between confidence and arrogance. Your gravitas lifts you up as a leader where you are able to make objective, fair decisions. People look up to you because you have gravitas. You know when to speak and when to remain silent. Gravitas is the ability to remain calm, composed, and handle bad situations with grace and courage. Leaders with gravitas don't often show extreme emotions. Managing your social media image. Social media is an integral part of our lives. In the day-to-day hustle-bustle, we use various forms of digital media for communication. However, since this communication is not face-to-face, many times we forget the basic etiquette that would have applied. We start using short forms, abbreviations, excessive punctuation, wrong tone of communication due to excessive use of social media. It then becomes more important to realize that digital communication on social media is no different from face-to-face. The same rules apply on social media as would apply in normal one-to-one communication. Your digital footprint is the mark that you leave on different social media and websites. Comments, posts, shares, likes, upvotes, blogs are all examples of your online presence. In this digital age where friendships and popularity are measured in likes, it is very essential to have a clean and professional digital footprint. Most of the hiring now takes place online. Whether it is Facebook or LinkedIn, Snapchat or Instagram, irrespective of the app or social media platform, people are watching and observing you. The kind of posts and material you post, your comments, your images and responses are all being noted and filed away by someone. That someone may be your next boss, your next employer, your next partner, or your next investor. And the important part is that they are forming an impression of you just based on your digital presence. In many cases, without ever even meeting you. And you may never even come to know about it. Hence, it is prudent and wise to have a good digital presence. Summary. Your first impression is very important, and you get only one chance to make a powerful impact. It is very important to be prepared and know the type of people you are going to meet or situations you will encounter. This is life, and in life, there are no retakes. The same is with first impressions. Low self-esteem results from you having a poor self-image caused by your attitude. If you have high self-esteem, you will be confident, happy, and sure of yourself. Your self-image will go up and your personal brand will become more powerful. Self-esteem is therefore crucial to you and is a cornerstone of a positive attitude towards living. You can develop the courage and self-confidence to overcome any adversity of life. Whether you are trying to build your network, grow your business, find a job, get noticed by the media, impress powerful people, or simply make friends, an impactful, attractive, and visible personal brand is the key to success. It helps in building your reputation, integrity, and credibility. Social media is a double-edged sword. If used correctly, it can greatly enhance our self-image and personal brand. And if not, it can cause permanent damage in relationships. Knowledge check. What is the meaning of first impression? Why is it important to form a good first impression? What are the ways of creating a great first impression? What is self-image? What is its correlation with first impression? List the ways of developing your personal brand. What role does self-esteem play in developing a good self-image? How does one develop executive presence and gravitas? What is digital footprint? List the ways in which you can create a clean online presence. Get ready for the real world. Wow, what a personality Raheel has, man. I wish I could speak English like him, said Brijesh. Every time he speaks in class, I just feel like looking at him only. He is so popular in college. member of the dramatic society, so in demand with the girl crowd. The teachers also love him. Yes, said Ahmed, I wish my parents had a lot of money. Then he could put me in English medium. I also could speak like these people in our class. Brijesh said, I studied in English medium, but it was in name only. All the teachers spoke in Hindi, and the one who could speak decent English was a yoga teacher. I feel so inferior with this high-class college crowd. Ahmed said, I feel so depressed and angry that I can't match ever up to these people. Just then, there was a voice behind them. Raheel said, Guys, I heard you. Do you think I always spoke like this? I too am from a similar background like you. That's not true, said Brijesh. You seem to come from such a privileged background. You think so? Said Raheel. Do you know my parents divorced when I was 8 years old? My mother brought me up in my village. But that's another story I will tell you. Tell me, why are you guys so sad and underconfident? Brijesh told him. Raheel heard him out and then said, You know what? I think you guys suffer from low self-esteem. Self-esteem low? What's that? They asked. Raheel said, self-confidence means being personally assured of one's abilities, capabilities, and potential. A talented man without confidence is like a car without spark plug. Confidence is the psychological steroid that boosts our power. Self-esteem is a way of being, think, feel, and act that implies that you accept, trust, and believe in yourself. Self-confident people trust their own abilities, have a general sense of control in their lives, and believe that, within reason, they will be able to do what they wish, plan, and expect. Having self-confidence does not mean that individuals will be able to do everything. Self-confident people have expectations that are realistic. Even when some of their expectations are not met, they continue to be positive and to accept themselves. For many years, I've been fortunate to experience and work with people who've learned Sanskrit. But what's the point of all this, said Brijesh. We can never become as popular as you. You speak so good English. You know how to dress, how to talk to girls. I feel so shy even sitting next to a female in class. I feel I will forever be stuck like this. Raheel said, No, that's not true. Brijesh and Ahmed listened to. I will tell you the benefits of having a high self-esteem. When I was studying in the village, one day my uncle came and asked me some questions. I answered very boldly. He was impressed and told my mother about a scholarship that was available to village students to study in a public school in Delhi. My mother was very shy and underconfident, and she wouldn't go and inquire on my behalf. I by myself went to the village head panchayat about 3 kilometers away and found the details. I coaxed the headman to fill the forms for me, and immediately I got the scholarship. That's how I got admission into Delhi's finest school. Improving your self-esteem. Ahmed said, Raheel bhai, all that is fine, but it's too late now to think of all this. We have exams and projects. So much work, we will have to start thinking of placements as well. How do we even think about our self-esteem? But that's exactly my point, said Raheel. Unless you raise your self-esteem and confidence, you will not attain success. You will remain on the fringes of success. Let me tell you about the affirmations. Raheel said, every day that I felt angry, bitter, or depressed, or inferior to others, I used to talk to myself. I used to tell myself that I am the best. Nothing can come in my way. Gradually, I started believing in myself. That is called positive affirmation. Positive affirmations are carefully worded positive statements that are designed to establish new thinking patterns in your mind. Using affirmations is a very effective way to build self-confidence. The way to use affirmations is to repeat the statements to yourself out loudly. When you repeat an affirmation, feel it, believe it, and know it. Put some positive emotion into it. Allow yourself to experience feelings of joy, satisfaction, power, and self-confidence as you recite each affirmation. Another great way to build your vocabulary. Learn and use the words and business phrases used in this chapter to improve your spoken English skills. Using judgment to make an informed choice or decision after taking into account all options. Wind in your sails, encouraged or pumped up to do perform better. Persona, the aspects of someone's character that is presented to or perceived by others.